When you hear the word sport, what comes to mind? Basketball? Baseball? Football? Soccer? There are so many sports in our world today, and one you probably don't think about is disc golf.
Now I know what you're thinking. What is disc golf? Disc golf is, well, a game that uses discs, not frisbees. It's commonly referred to as frisbee golf, but it uses discs, not frisbees, hence the name disc golf. Alright, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's go hit the course. Disc golf technically originated in Canada in 1927 by an elementary school kid named Ronald Frank Gibson. The kids would go out in their parking lot, in their playgrounds, wherever, in the sandy patches, and they draw 4-foot circles, and then they throw tin can lids on the ground to see who can get the closest. So, was it really disc golf? It's still up for debate, but Canada would not see the modern version of disc golf until the 70s. The game as we know it today originated in the 60s. It was essentially people throwing frisbees into trash cans. It was being played by students at universities in Texas and played at parks in California and Georgia. Yes, it was originally played with frisbees, much like Can Jam, but it eventually moves up to being used with discs. Who came up with the idea of disc golf first is still up for debate, but credit often goes to Steady Eddie Headrick. He was an American toy inventor who created the frisbee and ultimately is responsible for patenting disc golf in 1975. He worked for Wham-O, a frisbee company, to improve the frisbee, but eventually left in 1975 to start his own business, making designated discs and targets for disc golf. He opened a store called the Disc Golf Association with his son in 1976 to work exclusively on disc golf and the patent he had just created.
Oh! Whoa! Whoa!
That was it.
So the first disc golf hole was actually just a stick in the ground, and that was the target to hit. This is called a tone pole, which is very similar to the design of a normal disc golf pole. It was called the pole hole, and essentially, it was the goal. The pole eventually got an upgrade in 1977 called the disc pole hole, which was essentially a pole with a basket around it, and it had downward angled chains to stop the disc from coming in any direction. Modern day disc golf consists of players throwing into this design patented by Headrick before his passing in 2002. Today there are over 7,000 disc golf courses worldwide, and a vast majority of them use this design. The first disc golf course was opened in Oak Grove Park in Pasadena, California. This course used the stick version, not the disc pole hole version. In 1976, right after designing the baskets, Steady Ed sent out a letter to 100 top disc golfers in the country to join a lifetime membership to the Professional Disc Golf Association, also known modernly today as the PDGA, which is, yes, exactly what it sounds like. The moment that disc golf became a sport. Alright, so that was a great history lesson, but let's do a quick recap. So disc golf is a game where people throw flying objects at whatever target they designate, and the true origin is completely unknown. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go over this one more time. Disc, not frisbee. Disc, not frisbee. Alright, let's get back to the game. So how big is disc golf really? Because as of 1977, almost 99.9999% of America had no idea what this game was, and sometimes we feel like that is still in that significantly high range. So what got you into disc golf?
Yeah, so I started playing about 2 years ago, and there was just a course that was put up in my hometown, and I thought, this looks kind of fun, and so I bought a few frisbees and tried to use those, and then I got a disc, and it was way better. And so I've just been playing since then.
I love that you brought that up because that's part of the documentary. It's not frisbees.
There we
it's
go.
discs. That's really fun. That's really fun. What do you enjoy the most about disc golf? Like, why is it underrated? Is it an underrated sport that shouldn't be underrated?
Just go off the frisbee.
Oh yeah.
As of February of 2020, there were 6,652 disc golf courses in America, and that's not counting private courses. And because of COVID-19, there was a huge spike in players. However, as of February of 2020, there were 71,000 active members in the PDGA, and that's not counting players like myself who play recreationally.
Disc golf has been growing exceptionally the last few years, especially because of COVID. A lot of people felt cooped up inside, and disc golf was already starting to grow around the nation. And not only that, but coupled with Dynamic Disc getting some video coverage onto ESPN2, people saw it, they went to Dick's, they bought some discs, they went out and just started bombing around, ran into a lot of folks like that. So disc golf is really expanding, it's really growing. The PDGA numbers have doubled in the last year, and the Pro Tour is paying out more than they've ever paid before.
So what's so fun about disc golf? Like, what keeps you into the game?
Yeah, I like getting to come out and playing with friends and family, and then I also just like the competitive aspect of it, that it's just you versus the course.
Alright, cool. There we go. Is disc golf underrated?
I think it's growing. I think more people, as they play it, they think, I'm going to play this again.
Is disc golf underrated?
Disc golf is a solid sport. I think people underestimate it. They think it's easier because they've thrown a frisbee, but it's not easy. There's a lot of math and science that goes into it, and precision. And guys can throw discs 600 feet accurately, which is mind-blowing when you think about it. I think it's gaining traction because of that. Athletes are starting to come out of other sports. There's ex-college baseball players who are now playing. There are ex-tennis players that are now playing. The forms are somewhat similar. And so that's gaining a lot of credibility for the sport. So yeah, it is in a sense, but it's really gaining the credibility it deserves.
So, in conclusion, disc golf is a sport that continues to grow, mainly because of how entertaining it can be to not only watch, but play. Frisbees, discs, even dog toys, ultimately, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're chucking an identified flying object at a basket and only practice to throw less. Nonetheless, there is more to disc golf than just throwing. It brings people together and continues to form a strong community and a new era in the sports realm.
Disc golf as we know it originally started in the 60s, but who came up with the idea is still controversial. It's still up for debate! Today, There are over 7,000 courses worldwide, and a vast majority of them use discs. Alright, forgot what the very first line was. Alright. Modern day disc golf consists of players throwing into baskets. Why am I saying that? That's not even in the script. And a vast majority of them use baskets similar to this design. The first disc golf course was opened in Oak Grove Park in Pasadena, California. Man, if that would have been smoother, that would have been so good.
Chains.
It dropped so much shorter than I thought it was going to, though.
Whoa! As we know it, started close to the... Disc golf as of 2020 we had, we'll just cut it right there. There's 7,000 courses worldwide, and a vast majority of... I had it. Take 47. Okay. Credit often goes... Oh, I know what to say actually. So what do I say?